Did you see that there's going to be a new season of Futurama?
Yeah, I did see that. I don't know anything about it, though.
Neither do I. I just find it kind of interesting that Futurama is one of those shows that kind of keeps just every couple of years, they're like, all right, we got enough material to bring it to do some funny stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, no, yeah, I just thought, like, you know, like they could throw Trump in there now.
Oh,
as
yeah.
one of the heads.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
Do some stuff with that.
Trump and Nixon have a
Yeah,
conversation.
that's exactly what I was thinking. You can't be president. You can't be president.
Yeah, I was the one and only president.
You got indicted.
So did you.
No.
Fake news.
I stepped down. Yeah, that would be funny.
God.
They're arguing about their indictments.
Yeah,
that'd be really funny.
That would be really funny.
There you go. Here, guys, do an episode on that one.
Get it, Matt Groening.
That'd be really funny.
Oh man.
So he's still my favorite character in Futurama. Nixon's my favorite. Nixon's back. He comes with the robot.
Oh yeah.
And destroys the White House.
I think one of the most underrated characters is Scruffy the janitor.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Like when the mop bucket becomes like kind of sentient, it's like, Scruffy, I love you. We can't have that love. He cries and runs away.
Or what's the murder robot?
Roberto.
Wait. Is that his name?
Not Flexo? No, Flexo is Bender's evil twin.
Yeah, no.
Or no, the good twin, because Bender's the evil twin.
They thought they made an insane robot. It seems they failed.
Stab!
Yeah, that one. He's funny too. Man, that'd be fun to rewatch. The later stuff. I don't really like the earlier.
Really?
I don't like the earlier stuff. I like the later stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just find it funnier. I don't know.
That's funny because a lot of people think the earlier stuff's funnier.
Really? But I'm also that guy that likes like the worst of the franchise of games. The worst one. You know? Like, what was it? Far Cry 5 is like my favorite.
That's the most recent one, right?
No, Far Cry 6 is the most recent one. With
Giancarlo.
Yeah, that's the main villain. No, the 5 is in Montana and you're fighting the cult. I think it's Montana, something like that. Anyway.
You ready?
Yep. This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Here we are. Welcome back.
Okay.
I was about to see how long I could keep that going without taking a breath, but I saved you from that. I made that choice for you.
I think you saved everyone from
I made that choice for you, Tommy. Just for you.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm actually very excited to talk about this. I am.
Cool.
I'm very excited to talk about this.
It's definitely, as we kind of discovered last week with Olivia Philip Morris, is that, in our Pride Month, we're kind of, it's like, there's a queer character in it, but that's not really the focus.
No, it is not. So get into it. We are doing Booksmart. 2019's Booksmart.
2019. How many movies do you have for 2019? Did it change at all from Brightburn?
No. 36.
I had one more. 46.
You had 46.
I had 46. I don't know what that extra one was.
Was it? All right.
But I was like, did I watch something from that I haven't seen in the last a month or so? I don't know.
So 6 episodes ago.
In
the last 6 weeks, you watched something
from 2019, or I saw a title. I was like, oh, I remember that one now.
But yeah. Booksmart. Two young women. Wait. Redirect. Okay. Two young women who only focused on good grades go on an adventure to finally party before their high school graduation.
Yeah, it's an adventure comedy.
Yeah, a buddy adventure comedy. Mm-hmm. And they are so cute in this.
They're hilarious. Their chemistry
is just on
amazing.
They're really great in this.
Yeah.
But yes, released March 10th by South by Southwest.
At the South by Southwest Film Festival.
Festival. And then released May 24th, 2019.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And it was this a box office success?
I mean, it had a budget of $6 million and it grossed $25 million.
Okay, so it was successful.
It was successful.
I mean, it wasn't the box office hit.
No.
But I mean, yeah. But yeah, because I'm seeing that domestically it was like number 93, and then worldwide is 174.
Yeah, but it's also like I don't know. It's not.
That's really good money to make back for $6 million.
Yeah.
I mean, if it would have like been a bigger budget, like if it costs more money, they make less money.
Well, yeah. I mean, you kind of like anymore. Like, what? The only thing I could see like more budget would be more name people. But there's a lot of people in this.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of younger actors like, and what's interesting is like looking at the cast list, and we'll kind of get a little bit into that, is like other than our two leads, then it's like it's billed with the 3 older characters or 4 older actors first, and then the rest of the young guest co-stars.
Well, yeah, and it's also kind of like for right now, it's kind of fun. It's kind of a who's of young talent
that's gonna grow.
We're gonna see getting into stuff, because a lot of these people already have something pretty good under their belts already. So you're like, okay, like keep it up, like and they're young too, so they might decide, nah, I want to do something else with my life.
Yeah,
but you could see them kind of.
Well, our two leads definitely this is what they're going to be doing for the rest of their lives, more or less, because of their history of it all. Like Anywho, let's just let's get into the director and all the meat of all that. So wait, was there anything else? You did that thing. We did that thing. We did a thing. Mm-hmm. Thanks for listening, guys. It's been Tommy and Jake.
Our director is actually, which I did not know, is Olivia Wilde.
Yes, and this is her directorial debut for feature film.
Yes, where I was like, there's a couple shorts and stuff here and there.
And I do remember that when this was coming out as a thing, because we've seen her in a lot of films and whatnot, and
we've done her. Cowboys and Aliens. We've talked about her.
Oh yeah,
you forgot we did that movie, huh?
Yep. That movie was like a woo.
That was along with
that was season 1.
That was along with Wild Wild West.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, this is her. Yeah.
Yeah, that was episode 38.
Yeah. It's our feature film directorial debut. The other stuff that she has directed so far as feature films is Don't Worry, Darling, which same also like kind of same writer together for this as well, which I thought is it's interesting. I think maybe there'll be like a directing writing duo going forward type thing. And I'm really curious. I'm really curious to see where Olivia Wilde goes, because
out of the gate, not bad.
Yeah, especially
for directing.
I think for comedy, and really just letting the actors kind of like. I was reading that one of the things that Olivia Wilde wanted to do to keep the language genuine and fresh for a younger audience was having the writer on set the entire time, and any kind of like tweaks or like vernacular or anything that they feel them as a young actor or person would actually say, they're like, be free to tweak it.
Yeah.
Say this. And it's like, obviously, like, let's have, it was like, hey, I think like they would be like, they would say something more like this, blah, 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 blah. But like, no, like I really like that openness as a director.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Well, even I was reading too that our two leads, Olivia asked if they would live together for about 10 weeks.
Well, she just asked for them to find a way to become close. Yeah, they were roommates for 10 weeks.
Yeah, so they were roommates for 10 weeks, and you can really feel they got this rapport. Because also that's a risky move, because that really could have backfired.
It could have.
If they really didn't like each other. Like, oh, wow, I hate this person. Because living with someone.
But at the end of the day, it turns into a job, But also, that's also the thing, is that you live with somebody, and then you find what you love about them, and you find what you hate about them, and then you become better friends with that.
Or you never talk to that person ever again.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, let's get. So that's Olivia Wilde.
Yes.
Mainly an actress.
I think she's moving forward to be. I think she wants to be more of a director now, director producer.
Olivia Wilde in time. I'm trying to think of what else.
I think she was like a main character in House, right?
Oh, was she? I don't know.
I never watched. I think so.
I off and on.
I didn't look at her acting credits for this
either. Because she wasn't acting in it.
She did in Tron Legacy.
Oh yeah, Tron Legacy. Yeah. Apparently, I kind of remember her in that. What was that Justin Timberlake movie? Not In Time. The other one. The guy from Girl Next Door that I always forget his name.
Emile Hirsch?
Yeah, Emile Hirsch. Alpha Dog.
She's an Alpha Dog?
I feel like she was. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Neither have I.
I thought she was. Is Justin Timberlake in that? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, he is, right? Okay.
Yeah, he's like a reformed neo-Nazi, I want to say.
Cute.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's
Anyway, yeah. So let's get into our writers, because also the writing for this is very, very interesting, and I actually want to pull up the Wikipedia page for this.
I'm gonna say this, but the original like screenplay was something called Booksmart, 2 words, written by Emily Halpern
and Sarah
Haskins,
who are a writing duo.
Was circulated in 2009.
Yes.
And then in 2009, this appeared on the blacklist,
which is like most sought after, like
most liked screenplays that were not put into production.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because the blacklist makes it sound really negative.
Yeah.
But like, I just thought it was funny too, because I feel like we talked about the blacklist before. I think like season 1.
Maybe.
I don't remember what movie it was.
I think it just may have been briefly brought up.
Or it might have been a banter too. I can't remember.
I don't think it was a full on like conversation.
I remember just having like a moment about it, but like I just thought it was kind of funny, so I kind of did a little deep dive into the blacklist, especially for 2009.
Okay.
Other movies were Due Date, The Gangster Squad, The Social Network, The Voices.
Social Network came out like a couple years after that. So,
yeah, that came out in 2011. Voices, Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps. Like, so a lot of these movies, like if you go through the list, you're like, and there's more that came out, but I was just like, oh wow, a lot of these. It's kind of crazy how many movies just sit
on a shelf,
but they're liked, which is such a weird.
Well, because you got to think about it. It's like even if it's liked, they're like, okay, so maybe it's not the right time to release it. Like, what is it saying about like right now, or who actually is the right director for it? Do we have the right cast that would work for it?
Did we have too many movies already like this that come out in the last couple of years? So it's going to kind of get muddled over and kind of forgotten.
You know, kind of like when Armageddon, and what was the other?
Deep Impact.
Yeah, Deep Impact came out, then Volcano and Dante's Peak and Shark Tale and Finding Nemo.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Bugs Life and Ants.
Someone said Ants didn't age well, and I disagree. I mean, the Woody Allen thing didn't age well.
Woody Allen just hasn't aged well.
No, that's just not great.
Anywho, let's get back. So an earlier version of the screenplay, Emily Halpern and Sarah Haskins, who really, it seems like they've written a lot more for television. The biggest thing that I saw for her other movie is 80 for Brady that just came out.
Yes,
which I watched a while, like maybe about a month ago, just because I think it was free on Paramount or something. And it's cute to watch these.
What is that?
80 for Brady.
Yeah,
it's older women based on a real story that take a trip to the Super Bowl to see Tom Brady win the Super Bowl against the Atlanta Falcons, and it's a cutesy, like they have influence on the game, whatever. It's, I don't know, it's Sally Field.
I was like, who's in it?
Yeah, Sally Field, Lily Turner, Jane Fonda, and some of older actresses, and it's just really fun to see them in like an adventure buddy comedy.
I'd
like
watch that.
It's cute.
Yeah, I'd watch
it's
that.
It's cute. It's dumb, but it's cute.
So yes, that's our building block for this.
Yes. And then it was given over to, in 2014, Susanna Fogel, who then she just rewrote the script to change one of the lead characters to a lesbian and to make it so that the girls aren't seeking boyfriends for the prom, but are going to an after prom party. So we see we see it progressing and moving forward type thing.
Well, but even then too, it's like, yeah, imagine this, like 2009 to 2014. That's a pretty big gap of things changing.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, good thing you had to kind of look over.
And Susanna Fogel, really the biggest stuff that I saw, to stand out was The Spy Who Dumped Me, which Mia Kunis and Kate McKinnon.
I was thinking of something else. What was I thinking of?
Were you thinking of the Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy one?
No, I was thinking of the Chris Pine, Tom Hardy one, where they're both like secret agents.
Is that a comedy?
Yeah, I think it's Tom Hardy. I can't remember, but they're both like spies that are going after the same girl. I guess that doesn't really make sense for the spy who dumped me.
No, not at all.
But that's what I thought it was. I don't
No,
know. Yeah.
Nope. It's Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon. I've seen only bits of it. I can't fully remember it. But yeah, so I mean, and then also recently the sequel to the animated Addams Family 2. But then after it was, following revisions, and then it was purchased by Annapurna Pictures, and then Gloria Sanchez Productions went to produce it. Then they sent it off, and they got a bunch of different people to be producing it. Olivia and what was it? Screenwriter. Yeah, and then screenwriter Katie Silberman was hired for more revisions in 2018 and to update the story. So another 4 years later, getting another update and revision. And that's where Silberman came up with the new idea of, like, what if two friends realized they did high school all wrong? What if they realized that everyone they thought just partied and wasted their high school years were going to Ivy League schools just like them? Which I think is actually a really cool premise. I really like. That's actually a fun that curve in this story for Molly. No, Amy. Wait, hold on a second. No, Molly. Yeah, for Molly. Beanie Feldstein. Yeah, Molly's character is hilarious.
Oh, her like existential crisis that she gets
when she dissociates super hard. Yeah. And then Susanna Fogel, who also Katie Silberman.
Like we said, also wrote
Don't Worry, Darling, and also a movie that I've been wanting to watch. I keep forgetting it. Isn't It Romantic with Rebel Wilson? It's like a romantic comedy satire. Like Rebel Wilson, she like wakes up in all of a sudden an alternate dimension where she is living a romantic comedy and she's aware of it.
That sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, super meta. I love meta shit like that. I just
tried to watch one with Paul Rudd and Amy Poehler.
They came together.
Is that what it is?
It's like a super satire.
Yeah. They're sitting there telling their story to their friends over dinner.
Yes. I think it's hilarious.
Really? I couldn't.
It's all tongue-in-cheek, pun, like bad type of humor. But think about it. The name of the movie, They Came Together.
Yeah, I got it. It doesn't change my mind.
I think it's fun.
You're 14. Anyways.
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan.
Anywho. So I think it's interesting to see like that this like script had like a lot of like growth through it, and I kind of feel that in the story as well a little bit, but I feel like the movie was executed well enough that you can overlook it. And yeah, so let's get into really quick. I only have Beanie and Kaitlyn as the two people to really like talk about. I mean, we can just do a quick honorable mentions of other people, but our leading stars. What?
No, I forgot to put someone's last name down. Skyler.
Oh,
that's their name. Go ahead. Yeah. Go.
So yeah, our two lead actresses or people that act are Beanie Feldstein to begin with, who plays Molly, who also was in Lady Bird. And then also she's had her film debut in Neighbors 2 Sorority Rise, which I thought was interesting. That was her first film. She's like the comedic relief in that.
I don't know Neighbors 2 enough. I know Neighbors 1. I don't really remember Neighbors 2.
Neighbors 2 actually kind of holds up for a sequel.
Well, there's that new...
It's a good continuation of the story, and Zac Efron's fucking hilarious in it.
Well, there's that new one coming out that is like a third one.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it's them. It's Seth Rogen and...
Robin Byrne. That's not her name. Yeah, it is.
Roseburn. I was like, no, you're close. You're really close. But it's them, and it's older, and they're playing divorcees.
No, he's playing. Seth. They're best friends. It's called Platonic.
Yeah, but I thought they were like divorced and they're raising their kid together.
No, it's a completely different story. Like, it's just them because they have great chemistry together, and they're just playing platonic friends. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's like going through a divorce and having an existential crisis, and people are like, "You can't have a relationship with this guy. Like, what's wrong with you?" And she's like, "We're just friends." And I think it's actually, I really like the idea of just exploring a platonic relationship. So But anyway, that's not what this movie is about.
And I saw that Feldstein had a reoccurring in What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, so that was actually season 1, yes, and she was supposed to be recurring in season 2, but scheduling conflicts for other stuff that she was getting couldn't really make it work out. And she recently played Monica Lewinsky.
Oh yeah, an American crime story.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
It's like season 3 or something. They're the ongoing, the multiple season of Bill Clinton's impeachment.
Yeah. Then up next we had Kaitlyn Dever, who played Amy. Reoccurring character in Last Man Standing.
She's the daughter.
One of the daughters.
She's, I think, the daughter.
I never watched
it either. I mean, Tim Allen's, for me, Home Improvement was that.
Oh, a show called Monsterland on Hulu, which I never heard of, which sounds
really
bad.
I've seen stuff about it. I couldn't tell you what it's about, but
it's about monsters. And they're on the land, and it just sounds really cool.
Monsterland Security.
Was in Bad Teacher when they were very young, and then also reoccurring for a minute in Justified, which I feel like
I never watched Justified, so that's
like,
Timothy Olyphant, right?
Yeah. I feel like I did watch it, but she was probably young. So young.
Like 10 years younger, so like 12 or 13.
Probably wouldn't recognize. I mean, now maybe I'd recognize her, but I have no idea. I can't remember.
And one thing I put down is that she originated one of the main roles in Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway, and then also was in the movie of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, and then for like our older actors that just have their little bit of role, we got Lisa Kudrow and Will Forte. Who play Amy's parents, and they're just fucking hilarious. The panda scene at the end.
Oh god,
Amy, make it stop! Make it stop! Make it stop!
Jason
Sudeikis. This is at the time when he was engaged to Olivia Wilde.
Oh man, they broke up that like recently.
They broke up in like 2019.
Well,
or like 2020. Yeah. Something like that. I think it may have been shortly after this movie.
Who plays Principal Brown. And then our cool teacher, Jessica Williams, who plays Miss Fine. And then, I just want to like...
Did you fuck Miss Fine? That was just...
But it's like, I mean, you have... like, what was his name? You have Skyler
Gisondo.
Gisondo, who was in the Santa Clara Diet, which I loved. And that was one of those Netflix shows that they pulled the plug on really quick.
Yeah. He's also in Vacation.
Yeah.
And then we have Molly Gordon, who has been around. I've seen her. Mason Gooding, also seen him around. Billie Lourd
is a gem in this.
She is one of the saving graces of the entire film.
She's amazing.
Billie Lourd, who is fucking what's her name? Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher.
Okay, I was like
Carrie Fisher's daughter. And she is just, she's probably most recognizable from now American Horror Story.
And you had Eduardo Franco from Stranger Things and Diana Silvers from Space Force. So that's what I was saying. There's a lot of young people that have already...
Who from Stranger Things?
Eduardo Franco. The pizza dude.
Oh, that's right. He's got a very small role in Pizza Things.
I mean, he's their getaway driver. Like, he's their van guy.
Oh, him.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of the Strangler.
The what?
The pizza guy in this movie.
Oh, no, in Stranger Things.
That's right. Oh, I forgot about him. Yeah, he's in the most recent season.
Yeah, he's best friends with Steve, right? No.
No, Will.
Will, yeah.
No,
that's his brother. The brother. The fuck is his name?
Sad boy.
There you go. It's one of those moments. Like, his name is Marco.
Right. But yeah,
then Diana Silvers in Space Force. So like all these people have like already something under their belt,
Yeah.
So it's just going to be kind of fun to see
who
does what,
where their careers go and whatnot. But yeah, are we ready to move into Tommy's corner of reviews?
Did you already do your numbers?
I kind of like to start that as we start that. So if we're ready to move into it, then yeah. So for rating, very interesting, in my opinion. IMDb, it sits at a 7.1. Makes sense. Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 96 tomato meter score. So like critically super high. And then 77 audience score. I just think it's interesting for this to like a 96. That's a really high tomato meter score.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll see in a minute why.
Okay. Because of it's so fresh and new and.
Well, no, it's like so on the reviews for critics wise, it's 49 positive, 3 mixed, and 0 negative.
I could see the 0. Yeah. I mean, not to say that there should be any negatives, but I'm always kind of, expecting a negative.
So I picked 4. So 2 positive, 2 mixed.
Cool.
To try and get a whole. So 100 out of 100. Chandler Levac at the Globe and Mail. Wilde's smart directing choices and the bravery of her 2 fearless leads transforms a series of comic set pieces, usually seen in fare such as American Pie, into iconic character moments.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because this is very much like a teen comedy for a younger generation, I feel.
Yeah, but I mean, even me and my partner, we were in stitches.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It was just like one after another, and after another. Like even to the point where I was like, very rarely do I go, I want to watch that again, like right now. 91 out of 100. Katie Reif at the AV Club. What good high school movies do is take the basics of the teenage condition and refocus them for a specific generation's point of view. That's where Booksmart excels.
Kind of what I just said.
Mm-hmm. And then for our mix, 60 out of 100. Kaitlyn Quinlan at Sin Vu. Booksmart has its undeniable crowd-pleasing moments, but it doesn't stray as far from the status quo of the genre as it possibly could have. Which and no.
I think there might be talking about like slipping into a little bit more of the vulgarity that movies like this can easily go into.
Yeah, but have you met teenagers? They'd be pretty.
They can be super vulgar.
Yeah, so
but they also aren't always.
Yeah. But I also think like it could stray as far from the status quo of the genre. I'm like, yeah, but it's also I'm not looking for that in this.
It's really interesting. It's like this movie is very positive.
Yeah. Well, here's this. I like this one. This one coming up I thought was kind of interesting. So 50 out of 100. Vince Massini at Up Rocks. Booksmart's version of specificity mostly feels like old tropes sporting new stickers. It seems to take place in this weird bubble where everyone is sexy and yell-bound and achingly cool. Even its supposedly uncool protagonist is the class president. That it never really acknowledges this makes you wonder if the filmmakers know it exists. Which I thought was interesting too.
I really like that.
I just think this part, this weird bubble where everyone is sexy and yell bound, but it's also like she only really asked like 5 people, and she asked the 5 people that are like her quote unquote bullies. So it's like, well, because you have
well, it's the ones that she looks at them as burnouts, even though that they are still like top of the like school
the social food
chain type thing, but like that doesn't mean like what Triple A or Annabelle.
Yeah, what we didn't even mention her.
Yeah, I did.
Molly Gordon. Yeah, okay.
Like she like flat out says it's like, yeah, we care about other things than just school. Doesn't mean that we're not bad at school.
Well, and that's what I just think that it was kind of like in this review, it's kind of this everyone is sexy and yell-bound. It's like, well, no, there's the jock guy.
All of our lead characters are
going to nice schools. So we're talking about 7 people.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not everyone. It's just the people that we've talked to.
Everyone that we care about.
Yeah. But it's like one guy got the soccer scholarship.
Yeah.
The other guy's not going to college. He got
hired by Google
to do coding. And,
Nick is going to Harvard. Gigi, I forget where she said, but she's also going to a good school. But also, you got to think about like...
But Gigi's also the 1%.
Yeah, exactly.
So...
Well, and also it makes me wonder, like, how many, like, it's like, where, if they're top of social food chain, are they also maybe top of some type of, like, money privilege thing where, like, their parents can afford, like...
Or their parents are, like, alumni or...
something like that. Like, it's definitely, like, they're, like, I like that, like... they say in that review how it's like, is this something that they even really care to think about? Or what was it at the end of it? It's like, is it really thought about by the director, or
that it's never really acknowledged?
Well,
it says that it never really acknowledges. That might just be a typo, but it says that it never really acknowledges this makes you wonder if the filmmaker. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if the filmmakers know it exists.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that makes sense because then, but you're also then putting this into a more grounded reality than I think this story needs to be in, because what this story is their journey. Well, especially for Molly, her journey of accepting that these people, her peers, aren't as bad as she appears them to be. Like, it's like there's a big thing of like she's judging a book by its cover.
Well, yeah, and she's using her intellect as a superiority thing.
Yes.
Even in that whole scene in the bathroom when they're like talking mad crap about her, and she comes out and she really is like, matter of fact, it's like, yeah, girl, drop the mic. And
it's like,
and then they clap back, and I'm like, ooh, that backfired.
That backfired really hard,
really quick.
Oh man,
new girl out.
Yeah,
right. Get out of there. Like, abort.
Was that all the reviews? Yeah. So, I mean, and that's kind of like, that review is actually a really good transition into like for what this movie is truly about is like, and it's interesting is like, I feel like the main message of the story is through Molly's character more than through Amy's character. Amy's character's like arc is more of just like breaking out of her shell and, you know, like, and finding some bravery to actually like not be so timid, you know, like even though she has come out as a lesbian and she's like, I came out in the 10th grade, like, and her friends like, no, I mean like come out on the weekends and like partying. Like, oh yeah, she is fucking hilarious in this movie. Her awkwardness is so fucking palpable and so on point, and
she reminds me of someone, but I couldn't put my finger.
Her facial expressions are I really hope she does a lot more comedy because her comic timing is so good. Like when she's like driving the car and she's like, oh yeah, like I'm just like, this is fucking hilarious. And also like when a hot girl's waiting for her outside of the house, when she opens the door, the way that she's like, it's like she opens the door.
Silvers.
Yeah, she like opens the door and like all of a sudden like. And just like the way that she like walks up to her, like so all like, yeah, be cool. Like,
well, it's just, and also, you know, like even the beginning too, like when she goes to pick up Molly and they're doing that like
little dance
thing. It's so awkward, but it's so vindictive of teenage youth, you know, and it's like just really cute. Oh, what was I gonna say though?
About Molly, I said, so we have Molly. I feel like the meaning of the entire movie is more about Molly's journey, but like Amy's is more about breaking out of her shell.
Well, and like the whole like, you know, like being a lesbian and everything, her parents made me think of Easy A. Oh yeah, just the super supportive parents. Yeah, and they're very like, I mean, you know, it's Stanley Tucci is definitely
an Easy A.
An Easy A, like, why does that matter? I'm adopted. Who told you? We were going to wait for the right time. You know, like that kind of timing thing. But even like they're talking about the whole like, I mean, they're really cool. That even though they're all into that Jesus shit, like they're really cool. And then
they were really accepting. It's like, well, even like Amy being like, or like, yeah,
the parents don't believe that they're actually just friends. They think
like
they're special friends.
And it's like, no, and like, we're actually going to, like, every time I go to meet you at the library, and they're like, okay, have fun at the library. It's like, when we're actually going to the library.
But then Molly's like holding her arms and like feeling her up. Yeah. She's like, knock it off.
No, and even the parents are like, okay, that's enough. Yeah. Also, that's a really sad scene where they're like, oh, look at all this food we made for your graduation. And like, oh, we're like, but we made.
The dad's like, really? And the mom's like, it's fine. It's fine. They can go. It's fine.
Because there was a special their special friendship. Yeah, so the biggest thing is like Molly's journey through this as she connects with random people of her peers and starts to really like understand that they aren't as shallow as she expected them to be. You know, like specifically like with Jared, like, you know, like she calls him out. She's like, Jared, you can't buy people's happiness and friendship. And he's like, sure you can. That's what my parents done for me. That's what their parents did for them. He's like, he's a proven cycle of broken love and so he doesn't know how to navigate shit. Gigi is just fucking out of her goddamn. Also, her reappearing randomly at every fucking party. They're like, how are you dry?
Well, I think it's like their acknowledgement of it.
Yeah,
like of how she just keeps popping around. Mm-hmm. God, I love Billie Lourd.
I'm napping. Quiet.
She's on the roof of the car. Yeah.
Oh no! Those are Gigi's special vitamins.
She likes to crush them up and snort them. She says the word committer. Like when and then he goes in the back. He's like, "Oh no."
Yeah. He's actually kind of endearing. Like he's a little forced. Like he's a little bit of a lot in your face. But Jared's character, I think I found, like, by the end of it, you kind of find him endearing.
Well, even in the beginning, you can just tell he just really wants friends. And
yeah, exactly.
Really sad.
And he's trying way too hard.
Yeah.
He's like, he's got my face. I'm on a shirt, and it's like, I'm on the
little
shirt.
me,
and
then like a mini, and then a baby me. Happy graduation. Yeah, he's endearing. He's annoying, but
yeah. But like when he sits down, like I like at the party when he's like, "Do people really think I slept with a prostitute?" And she's like, "Didn't you?" And he's like, "No." Like, God damn it. And that honesty, like she keeps having these honest moments with people. Like I think specifically it's with Jared and AAA. And I really like it's AAA that picks her up and they have that moment. He's like, next year at Yale, can you just not call me that? Yes, Annabelle. Too soon. Sorry.
That was terrible. You're right. That was terrible.
And really Molly's journey of just like realizing that these people aren't as shallow as we really thought they are. And then her graduation speech is like, I was scared of you guys. I did everything that I could to not become you when I realized I should have just been with you. And it's actually kind of...
My car is so fucked.
Yeah. It's actually really endearing. Like this movie is lovely and endearing by the end of it in its weird way.
I think it's the whole time it is.
There's a couple so my biggest qualms with it is the things that become kind of like the conflict of interest or like almost conflict it's never really like foreshadowed or presented. It's just all of a sudden and that's what's happening. And one is when Gigi calls out Molly for actually having a crush on Nick.
I called that in their first interaction.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
When he's getting the chips thrown at him?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pick up on that at all.
Because it was that this is gonna age me, I guess. I don't know, but like growing up, a girl was mean to you, especially at a younger age. Means she liked you.
Well, yeah, but
she was so overly the top, just about him that the second I caught on to that. Really, I was like, I called it out and it happened.
It's like I can kind of see what you're saying, but it's just if there would have just maybe been like one slight hint of just like that is that in another way, because it's like the whole thing is like she's trying to figure out the budget. She's so academically bound. She's so much of all these things. He seems like a fucking like a block in her path. And that's how I present that. That's how I read that. It's like this guy is so obnoxious.
Well, but you're saying like even the hint though. I clicked for me, so I picked up on something that you didn't.
All right, yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean? So it's like something clicked
but
for me.
I want to see it, man.
Yeah, no, I called it immediately.
And then the next one is with Amy with their meltdown together at the party, which is really unfortunate. And actually, I really liked how they built up to that. Is Amy all of a sudden being like, I'm going to be spending a year in Africa. I deferred. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? It's like, that seemed just kind of like all of a sudden, like a sudden moment. And I was sitting there trying to think, like, I thought I saw a scene where it was like an acceptance letter that Amy was looking at. And I couldn't remember if maybe I went back into the movie and like scanned through trying to find where that scene would be, like a short, like 10 seconds or something. Couldn't find it. So I don't know if I like imprinted that into my mind.
I don't recall that.
So yeah. But that whole thing of where all of a sudden she's like, I'm going to be in Africa for a year. It's not just the summer. I deferred. And then Molly being like, so our entire plan together is now going to be off a year because you decided you want to find some fucking bravery now. And that entire moment is really heartbreaking for their characters, especially how the entire party stops and records it.
Well, that was a great shot too. Like you just see the lights going on and everyone's slowly turning,
and it slowly goes silent.
But I pulled I read the script last night to see what was actually said.
Oh yeah,
I was really curious, like because it was kind of weird. It's like you don't get that final nail in the coffin. Of,
well, you can really see Molly clearly. The last thing she says, "Fuck you, Amy."
The script is Amy, you're selfish and mean. You're a bad friend. Amy, you're a fucking bad friend. I called Mala, and that was a sacred code. Malala, that was a sacred code. That's this is where we're going into. And then Molly says, I got the Metro North commuter pass to visit you in New York every weekend. And then Amy says, nobody asked you to do that. Just like nobody asked you to come to this fucking party. Nobody invited you. Nobody wanted you here. Molly sputters, hurts, and furious. Molly, fuck you. So that end, it's actually like, I was like, what did they say? Like, what did they say? Like, that was like the final like kickoff. And that was like, and I never thought about doing that before in audible moments.
Like looking up what the script actually said.
Yeah, because they're
saying. Or
what the
actors actually said.
What they're saying. Yeah. They're saying it. But yeah, nobody invited you. Nobody wants you here. I was like, like, can you imagine like sitting there in the party like,
she's not wrong. I mean, I don't mind that they're here, but
like, it was kind of random, right?
They've never come before.
They've never come in the 4 years of partying. I've never seen them before.
And it's a really heartbreaking moment because of just like, you see how wonderful their relationship is, how there's like, here, my eyes, I'm blinded by your beauty and like all that stuff.
Well, it kind of goes into that review saying about like, the old tropes with new stickers. Sitting there at that party, I was like, okay, I've seen enough of these kind of movies. What's gonna be their conflict?
Yeah, it's like
they have to get into a fight.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, it's like with Superbad, you know, when Seth finds out that Evan is gonna be, you know, when he's going to he's gonna be boarding with fucking Fogel, and like,
it's funny you mentioned that actually.
It's really, I mean, it's really interesting because I feel like a lot of people at some point have tried to compare this to the female Superbad, and what's with that is like Beanie Feldstein is Jonah Hill's sister, and with it just being so much about them trying to get to a party, and it's to friendship, but like it's very much its own story, you know, it for a generation. So, like, in Superbad and this kind of break expectations in being better than you would expect them to be for the type of movie it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But this is unique in its own way.
Yeah. And it's just, it has a great, like, just a pacing to it.
Yeah.
There's not really ever a lull. But, like, it's just funny to the Superbad thing because Eric Cohn at IndieWire, the best comedy of his kind since Superbad.
Yeah.
While its slick, unpredictable romp can sometimes feel like several movies at once, the Rush's candy-colored celebration of sisterhood is so dense and a quick development. Yeah, okay, whatever. I just thought that was Superbad thing because, yeah, like, on paper, you know.
Yeah.
It's two high school friends, lifelong friends, trying to go to a party.
Yeah.
But this does have that more... I feel like their relationship feels more genuine than Michael Cera and Jonah Hill.
Really?
Yeah. Just because, I don't know,
I really don't want to sit here and compare the two right now, though. Okay. But, like, yeah. Because I feel like that's taking away from what this movie is.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of go back to like, it's like for one of my qualms of like just all of a sudden Amy being like, and I'm going to be there for a year. It's like, it feels like that's where it's like, I feel like, oh, I can see where it's like 3 revisions have happened to the script type thing, where it's like the conflict shifted so much that that was probably something that was in one script or they just added it there, or they had to like find a piece. But the way that it's paced and the way that it's presented, you're just kind of like, oh, okay. But there's just no, like, I would just wish there was a bit of a foreshadow of that before.
Yeah, I can see that, but it also, like, makes sense, though.
For us, the audience, to be waiting for that reveal of, like, when is Molly going to know?
Well, because it goes into what you're talking about, what her is breaking out of her shell and standing up for herself.
Yeah. She gets arrested.
And
it's so great.
Like, the whole, she feels suffocated by Molly.
Yeah.
So it's like she felt like she had to do this in secret, otherwise, because she even says, or you try to convince me out of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and she's basically saying, I need to get away from you for a little bit to grow.
It's interesting is that they've had this close bond together for so long, for 4 years. And that's probably, they've never really had a fight, probably anything like this. And all it takes is for them to finally break out of their own comfort zones and go to one of these parties where they're around, like, society, I guess, their social peers, for them to break and actually, like, go at each other,
Well, like you said that too. It's like, well, there has been no outside force to cause conflict in the relationship.
Yes, and now with Amy having this thing for Ryan and Molly having this thing for Nick, and then for Amy to see Nick and Ryan making out, and then...
But again, she tries to take her from the party and doesn't...
She doesn't tell her, like, what I saw. She's just trying to protect... She's like, I see this. Amy's trying to protect her friend from something.
Yeah, but also because of her kind of meek personality in this moment, she doesn't go, hey, heads up. She's just like, no, we should just go. Like, with like this passive way of getting her. It's like...
let's not worry about it. Let's get out of here.
Which I thought was interesting, because what I thought was going to happen, she was going to go up and say that Ryan and Nick were hooking up, and then Molly wasn't going to believe her. That's what I thought they were going to go with. But then it just kind of...
But that doesn't make sense for Amy's character. To just come up and be like, this is what's happening. Like, it makes... Like, I'm pretty sure they probably wrote that originally, or that could have been written in, like, for the script at some point, and then...
I see what you're saying.
And they talked about, like, well, does that make sense for Amy's character to
suddenly be, like, brazen?
Yeah.
Be like...
It's like she's coming out of her shell a little bit. She just came... It's like, also, Amy just came out of her shell. She sung You Ought to Know. Also, that... The fucking theater kid from this goddamn...
I really liked him.
Yeah.
No.
And
he had the tongue. Yeah. Oh, that's another. Who was that? I can't remember.
God,
there's a lot of people in this movie.
There's a lot of things that happen in this movie. Like, we're not even talking about the really uncomfortable Miss Fine and hooking up with...
I thought that was so funny.
It's because you're 20 years old, right?
It's so uncomfortable, but it's like, it's that weird thing. It's like
it's a teacher going to a high school party.
Yeah, but it's like, it's okay for some reason. It's like,
no, this is weird. This is gross.
Yeah, this is not great. And then she then it's also awkward.
I love that her name is Miss Fine.
And then she goes up and like purrs, and she thinks it's him.
Oh,
yeah,
it's like
a little Asian girl. And then like she's like, like that was, we had a hot night, and then they actually meet up, and then she's
hello, my goddess,
and then she's all awkward and weird. I'm like,
oh,
you kind of instigated that, but you just started with the wrong person.
Yeah.
No, but that's even the thing too. There's just like so many of those wonderful, cringeworthy, like peep show. Eat the turkey, James.
When they're watching porn in the backseat with their principal as the Uber driver.
Oh yeah. Or just the whole her trying to figure out what she masturbates with. Oh, she's like looking at all this stuff in her room.
What happened to that eye?
And then the panda.
That happened way before Ling Ling and I had her thing.
Okay, well, a secret for a secret. I once tried to masturbate with my electric toothbrush, and I got the worst UTI ever. And she's like,
I wish that wasn't
a secret, but you've told me that many times.
Oh my God. They're so fucking funny in this movie.
You can like scissor or whatever. That's not a thing. Don't knock it till you try it. Scissoring is not a thing. Don't knock it till you try it.
No, it's just like, really I just want her and I, hanging out, lying together, watching movies. Like, you and I do that on the weekend. Yeah, but there'll be more vagina.
Don't knock it till you try it. Don't knock it till you try it.
Even like when they like,
oh God, her hookup scene in the bathroom. Where it's just one thing after another.
Yeah. Well, that's also like, that's where I feel like she's like Amy's journey. Like, she's breaking out of her shell with Hugh Audeneau and like with like hanging out with Ryan. Everybody's jumping into the pool. She actually gets into the underwear and she's having fun and she's ready to actually, go make her move on Ryan. And then she sees Ryan making out with Nick, and then all of a sudden, all of that progression of her breaking out of her shell
just goes crashing. I really did love that scene, though. The whole pool scene
of her just kind of
floating around, and the music was really cool. And there's this kind of like
it's kind of euphoric.
Yeah, and she's like trying to find, and then there's that shot where she looks, and you just see the tattoos that they've been really. They have just like they show it a little flash in the beginning.
Yep.
And that's her like kind of checking her out and things that she finds attractive about her, and then throughout the movie you just kind of see flashes of them. But then it's like you see that tattoo, and immediately your brain goes, "Oh no!" And then the coming up, and you're like, "And it's Nick."
Yeah.
No. No. And
who had literally just kind of swept Amy or Molly off of her feet with like making a Harry Potter reference. Like, you're a half Slytherin, half Ravenclaw.
Yeah, really flirting with her.
Exactly what I am. Yeah.
Yeah, like really lead her on, and then just leaves her there to go make out with someone else. Real teenage boy move.
Squirrel.
But yeah, I thought that shot was really great. And that's the thing. There's some really like cool shots in this, and even the yacht party scene is just. I was like, oh god, there's gonna be nobody.
It's like we all know what's happening. Like, and they're like, oh my god, nobody's here. That guy who keeps coming by with the goddamn hors d'oeuvres. Jeez, you're coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're fucking everywhere. But really the comedic gem is Billie Lourd as Gigi.
Yeah.
Hey, you can't smoke up here. What did you say
to my friend?
This is my best fucking friend.
And Amy's like, it's not really my friend. I don't really
like gets on the walkie-talkie, light him up. And I'm like, oh my god, is she gonna set this place on fire? And it's just fireworks. But like,
and then she jumps off the
swan. She's like, swan dive. Or she says something like that, right? Like, I'm a swan. Or...
Yeah. And then Jared's like, I should go check on her. Oh, I'm surprised those strawberries. Yeah, it's doing pretty good. The strawberries would have kicked in already.
Or right before that too. The party is, and you can't tell anyone, including each other.
Okay, yeah, we got it.
The party is at his aunt's house.
Like, we know it's at his fucking aunt's house.
We fucking know that.
And then the Barbie doll scene. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was actually really cool.
Apparently, it was longer.
Yeah, originally. I heard there was like a throwing up glitter moment, but that whole thing was really So for if you don't,
you're at a 10, and I need you at a 2.
They're what we're talking about is they end up taking like some hallucinogenics.
Well, Gigi feeds them some strawberries when they get on the boat, and
she's like, "It's ayahuasca but Asian," or something. I think is what she says.
Yeah,
Asian Oscar. Right? Did she follow up with Asian Oscar? But yeah, they start having this trip where they're seeing themselves as Barbie, like Barbie dolls, and then they both strip naked and they're like, "Where's my vagina? Where I don't even have nipples. Like they're just these round
globes."
And then
Amy started getting into it.
She starts getting really into it. It was like she changes her voice. And then they leave when they're walking out of the party.
Yeah. We're kind of falling into just rehashing and not,
Well, I just want to talk about that. I thought the animated scene was really clever depiction of tripping out.
Oh, 100%.
Because a lot of the time it'll just be like, the camera here and them. And it's like bright colors and things are just like rippling and stuff. Yeah. It was actually kind of an interesting take on a trip.
Oh, yeah. It's like they're envisioning themselves as dolls. Their biggest nightmare essentially is as feminists type thing. You know?
Like when they're trying to figure out how to work their bodies because the boobs are so big and they have no core. And they're like, how do you work this thing?
It's like I imagine them actually just like if you were to like walk into that room, I wasn't imagining them as like thinking they were dolls, but sitting there like they found some dolls and they're just like
projecting
themselves into a doll that they found type thing.
I was really curious too. Once they stripped naked, I was wondering if they were going to make them leave the house naked.
Yeah,
like they actually strip down and they like shoot it in a way where you lose that they're naked, but like them walking out like fuck you.
I think this movie is. I'd watched it once before, but I don't think I liked it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I don't think I liked it as much as I did this time around.
Huh. Yeah, no, I had never seen it, and I was very pleasantly surprised. And it was funny, too. I put it... What were we watching? We were watching some TV show. And my partner was like, hey, you can put on the movie. I'm going to go, like, shower and, like, whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. So I put it on. And then 15 minutes later, I realized, oh, my partner's still sitting here watching it. And I was like, are you going to go shower? She's like, no, but I want to watch the movie. I was like, oh, you like it? She's like, yeah, I like it a lot. It's really good.
It is. It's like... The way that they do it, they set up their realization, specifically like Molly's like realization of like, we did high school wrong in such a wonderful way. It's like their world just gets flipped upside down, and now they have to... seize the day to
Well, the thing is, you say they. It's Molly's world, and she kind of forces Amy into this situation, but then that ends up breaking Amy out of her cycle.
Yeah.
But it's like, because even then, Molly's the one with the issue. Amy doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like,
well, that's kind of what I was saying at the very beginning of this. Yeah. I feel like this movie is more about Molly's journey, and Amy's just kind of like there for the ride, but Amy's still a lead character still, so we needed what her journey is as well. And we care about both of them, but the overall arcing like story of the movie and theme of the movie, I think falls more in Molly's arc. And like, don't judge a book by its cover type of, message.
Yeah.
And
like lose the superiority complex.
Yeah.
That she has.
Yeah, get off your... Yeah, oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Well, I have AAA's or Annabelle's whole thing about, like, we just didn't care. We care about other things. What was it?
We don't just care. We don't just care about school. We care about other things than just school.
Yeah, that was such a, you're like... Oh.
No, and then, like, yeah, that's, like, Molly's existential crisis. It's like the soft focus onto her face, and then she's just, like...
And then kind of gets muffled.
Yeah. And then the condom's getting filled with water, and then the condom pop on her face. The cut from the condom exploding on her face, and Amy like, no, and then just like them in the car. Molly's just...
Or even like when she comes out of the bathroom, she starts like freaking out about everyone and what fucking school are you going to? And then she goes to the end love interest and says like, what school are you going to? She's like, whatever this is, I don't want any part of it.
Yeah, right.
Like, back up. You're crazy. Get the hell out of here. But it's like, even like, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's the thing is I felt for all the characters, like that whole thing when she's hooking up with that girl in the bathroom. And it's awkward. It's weird. She actually puts it up the, and so is that.
I don't think that's the hole you think it is.
And then she goes to drink some water, and as you could see the cigarette butts in it, and it's just like this. You're like, huh, do you need a hug? Come here. You can have a hug.
I like when she's getting arrested.
I've done that.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
It's a strange harken back to American Pie when Stifler drinks the cum-filled beer cup.
Very different than a water cup with cigarette butts in it, but sure.
I mean, it's...
I know. I'm just fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that, and it's pretty horrifying.
I've taken a swig out of a beer that had cigarette butts in it. Yeah. Anywho, Molly or Amy getting arrested. Huh? Shotgun. I'm just kidding. I don't have one.
I like immediately regret. Like, never. And then how do they get her? Oh, because
they exchange information because
about the pizza guy.
That's actually that was really funny. Like callback because like when they break into his car and he's like, did you guys even think about like sexual assault or kidnap or anything like that? Like, do you have a gun? Because I do to protect myself from bad people.
I could take you to the get on the freeway, take you across the states, hog tie, and you're like,
take you
Jesus,
state line into the woods, put you in the cabin, tie you up, and just make you drink milk out of a saucer. And they're like,
that's
what?
Very specific.
Yeah.
Or even like, well, since we're in here, can we get a ride? Yeah, sure. Okay, great. No, I'm fucking sarcastic. Get the fuck out of my car. And he ends up being like a serial killer.
Yeah, right? No, they exchanged information of him being the strangler to get Amy out of jail. And that's kind of like the very end bit of this movie is really the most unrealistic part of the entire movie, but through the journey, it's kind of fun. Because like what I was about to say was like, I feel like this movie is filled with a lot of very grounded, like, no, I guess I don't want to say grounded moments, but relatable moments that feel like it could happen to you type thing, you know, but it's also still like embellished enough where it's like, no, this is still a step out of reality, but it's still fun and enjoyable.
Yeah. The ending, like, and I didn't
like them driving that was a Camaro, right? Or was that
I don't remember.
Or was that a Firebird? I can't remember.
But
like, yeah, them like speeding through to get to the graduation. It's kind of like, it's probably the most unrealistic part of the entire movie.
Yeah.
But
I guess it's time to wrap it up.
Right. Jesus.
Well, I was just gonna say the ending, just also the whole airport thing where it's like it is really
the very end, yeah,
it's really touching and everything. But then it like was like one last joke, and I was like, I kind of liked it leaning into this touching moment that they were doing. I
still find it kind of the joke, but then she's like, "Fuck it, I can be the last one on the plane. You want to get some pancakes?" It's like, and then it's endearing. You know, it's like it's touching. It's that whole moment of them saying goodbye, but then that's also a really good like shift for Amy's character now of like her just like, because normal like Amy at the beginning of the movie would be like, I got to get on the airplane like as soon as possible.
Oh, but like, that's true. That's a good point. And like, fuck it, we can rebel a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Start talking just a little bit louder.
Did I?
We both did.
Oh, okay.
I noticed like that's a little more. Carrot wise.
I think a 4.
Yeah, a solid 4.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoyed it. It's like this will like for this type of movie, this will go up there with like Mean Girls. For me, that teenage comedy thing.
It's up there. Mean Girls, Superbad, American Pie for me. You know, I love American Pie. But yeah, no, it's really, really good.
It's really quotable.
I think it's definitely, I don't know because I'm not, 22 or 19 anymore. But I feel like it is kind of like a stamp on a generation for like their teen comedy.
Yeah, and it was a very, very,
and
very...
I don't want to say dead, but it's a dying genre that every once in a while we don't get these as often anymore. You got them all the time in like the in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s.
But then it started getting like, beating a dead horse.
Exactly.
Where you're like, okay, we get it, teenagers. But also I think it was a really ingenious move to let the actors and actresses and everybody involved change the dialogue into something that being younger, like things that they felt more, the vernacular was more true to say it this way and that way. That was a really smart move. And it's like, people should listen to their talent more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so 4 out of 5. This was episode
142.
Booksmart. Please like, subscribe, and follow us. We have one more Friday coming up for Pride Month, and we were going to do Moonlight.
Yeah, we're throwing Moonlight in here.
Which neither of us have seen. Heard wonderful things about it. Always wanted to watch it. And we thought, hey, let's finish off with like a drama. Like
it's kind of a drama. It's
a lifetime drama.
Yeah, coming of age story,
leading into young adulthood.
Yeah,
thing.
Coming out story.
Yeah. So I always wanted to see it, but I never got around to it. But like, subscribe, tell your friends, review, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram for all of our upcoming episode promos.
Yeah, we have fun reels on Fridays of preview of what we talk about.
Yeah, totally. And that's at TJ's Mixtape.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk to you later. This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's Mixtape.